the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
got baby face, me big boss man. Me like America, me got good plan. Mexico water, make Gulf US obey. Me make Zelensky say thanks to my face. Me got baby face, me got big cheer. Trump bad, Trump good, me no care. Me write big book, kill billies and stuff. Now me important, we're tired tough. Me go Yale school, me learn big word. Now me forget everything me heard. Silicon people give me job, me take. Now me like Trump, me make no mistake. Yo, it's JD environment. Me fight walk folk, me say never die. Me protect kids, me born liberal. Him, them. America simple, only two gender. Me face, me big boss man. Me like America, me got good plan. Mexico water, make Gulf US obey. Me make Zelensky say thanks to my face.
Too many gender for my agenda. Went on a bender, execo the sender. Might take Panama just like na. Might take Gaza, pop then a plaza.
With this one majesty.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage I. of Unit 199. Happy to see all of you here on a Thursday. I bet you thought there wasn't going to be a CobraCast, and there almost wasn't one, but here we are. I've had a very busy day, and but we're here, and we have a lot to talk about, as always. So here we are, CobraCast in the house. Hail to the 199. Hail to the snake pit. We're ready to rock and roll. And boy, we got some memes to talk about tonight. Mar Millen with $10 says pre-stream chat Griff tax hail the 199. Thank you, brother Mar Millen. Hail to you. Dark Red Knight says just saw Michael and gave it a 90% on Criticless. Love it, man. I actually want to go see it again. I've seen it a couple times. I actually want to go see it more. I love that movie so much. And my entire YouTube feed and Twitter feed has pretty much been Michael Jackson. Like, you know, the algorithms just feed me more Michael stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to watch it. I'm not. If you put a Michael Jackson video in my feed, I'm going to watch it because it's Michael Jackson and it's awesome. But Jerry the American says, Jeremy, ever heard of the French Foreign Legion? Probably not, because of the word I can't say. The FFL are seriously cool. Look them up. They were referenced in a movie back in the day that I saw. Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think, movie. I can't remember. But Benny Johnson was suggesting channels that were getting demonetized due to AI use. Any truth to that? I mean, I don't know exactly what to make of the AI demonetization stuff. I'm being careful. I am still running these intros here and there, but trust me, like right when I start the show, I'm kind of like, should I even run these intros? I really don't know. It's very, very, it's very, very tough. Lionheart. Thought it was like Legion or something like that. I don't know. But it's been so long since I saw it though. Let's see. They were in The Mummy with Brendan Fraser as well. Yeah, I knew there's a few movies I've seen them referenced. Graham Robbins for 20 says, Jeremy, my wife, part of the 11% of the audience, always texts me that CobraCast is on. She's on her way home from work in Seattle after a 14-hour day. Can you give Mrs. Robbins a swig of water for the working woman? Well, first of all, please drive safely home. Thank you so much for being part of the 11% female audience here. And that number keeps going up. I don't know what we're doing, but that number keeps going up. You know what? After we give the swig of water to Mrs. Robbins, okay, swig of water for the working woman, drive safe on the way home after a 14-hour day. Okay, now let's see if, let me go to our numbers and see. Let's just do the last 30 days. And we'll see if where our numbers are. So we'll go to audience, and that's okay. So we are at 11.1 or 11.1% female audience in the last 30 days. 11.1. Okay, so we're creeping, but it has improved slightly. All right. There is, and then 88.6% male, and then user specified. What is user specified? 0.3%. It says user specified. The hell does that even mean? What does that mean? Let's do the last 7 days. Oh, the last 7 days? 12.1% in the last 7 days. 12.1% in the last 7 days. Keep that in mind. Let's freaking go. So that's awesome. That's good stuff. So hail to the ladies of the snake pit. And thank you, Mrs. Robbins and Graham. Drive safe. BMCCB says, good job on the intro. Now 11% is of the chat is pregnant. Hey, JD Advance does that. You know, we do have a very funny story to talk about. I don't know how many of you have heard about this JP Morgan story, but my goodness, this is hilarious, and we're going to talk about it. Mod Eric says, Makara, hope you had a great Jessica Day. Look at there. Happy Jessica Day. Was it Makara's birthday? That's awesome. Crazy Clown Town says, happy birthday to my favorite mod, Makara. There it is. Happy birthday to Makara. That's great. Happy birthday indeed. Let's see here. Marc-Andre Roy says, happy Makara. There we go. A new meme is born. Fear the Deerdo says, a deer says, hey, I don't even know how the hell Beardo, what he says. I can't even remember now. Little Jim Taylor says, this is for the 11% of the chat. Mossad cut my checks. Thank you. Phil says, good Jer tax. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so this JP Morgan story is absolutely insane. I don't know how many of you have heard about it. I was just, I was on Twitter and I keep seeing this woman that everybody's talking about. And I don't know. I'm like lost. I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? This woman that everybody's talking about. Okay. And so this is the woman. Okay. Everyone talking about her. She will be president. Okay. Everybody's talking about her. Okay. There she is right there. All right. So this is the JP Morgan story. All right. Now, just so you understand, I want you to have a frame of reference as to who we're talking about here. But yeah, so she keeps showing up on my timeline all over the place. And I'm like, what is happening? All right. And regardless of, and I do believe that I believe this is a BS story, but I don't care. Okay. It's kind of like professional wrestling. Don't just let me believe what I want to believe. Okay. Don't take this away from me. All right. Don't take it away from me. Let me believe this. Look at there, Mrs. Femme Fatale, or what is it? Yeah, there we go. Femme Natalie. Is that it? Natal? Hail to us, ladies. Cheers to the 11.1%, 12.1 in the last 7 days. Okay. Not true. No one's that lucky. Stop telling me it's not true. Let me have this shit. Okay. So anyway, let's listen to this story from someone that we're not the biggest fan of these days, but Megyn Kelly tells Adam Carolla he didn't know anything about it. Just listen, but wait, there's more, okay?
I want to get to this JP Morgan thing. I don't know if you've heard anything about this,
No.
but if not, fear not, okay? This is perfect that you're coming to it fresh because you can be our jury for the day and tell us what you think. Now, JP Morgan Chase is one of, if not the biggest bank in America. It's enormous, and it's a lot of people's dream to get a job working there one day. You can make a fortune potentially. Once hired, it's tough to get fired. They're very good to their people by all reports. And they've hired a woman who's in some trouble now. She's on the receiving end of a massive lawsuit, as is JP Morgan. The woman's name is Lorna Hajdini, Hajdini. She's 37 years old. She's an executive director in their leveraged finance division. So good on her. That's a pretty good accomplishment. There's not a ton of women at these banks.
Oh, we know how she earned her position.
So I'm sure she's probably pretty gritty to have made it. But she is being accused now of being a Me Too'er, Adam Carolla. And the plaintiff, he's gone under John Doe, has alleged the following. They say in the filing that she coerced him.
Listen.
He's married.
Got to listen to this story, okay? Because as someone just said in the chat, okay? And this is where we are going with this, okay? And you just have to understand, this is how we all feel.
Next question, Jeff, where are you? Right there.
Yeah. I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you. Man. Thank y'all guys. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Funk, for saying what needed to be said.
This is how I feel about this story. So don't take this from me. Let me have this.
She coerced him, he was her subordinate, into, quote, non-consensual and humiliating sex acts over a period of months, despite his repeated pleas for her to stop. He says JP Morgan enabled the alleged abuse and retaliation.
His repeated pleas for her to stop. I'm begging you, hot, attractive woman, stop with these sexual advances.
Against the banker after he reported it, claiming they placed him on involuntary leave, destroyed his reputation, and allowed threats against him to continue while she went unpunished. In early May 2024, he alleges that she dropped her pen on the floor. This is the first move, Adam. Dropped her pen on the floor next to his desk, and while bending to pick it up, rubbed his leg and squeezed his calf. He claims she then remarked, "Oh, you did play basketball in college. I love basketball players." Then she said, sorry, this is a little R-rated, "They get me so wet." There's just no way of going through this without feeling uncomfortable. Later that May, Doe said in the complaint that Hajdini invited him out for drinks, but he declined. In response, she is alleged to have said, "If you don't F me soon, I'm going to ruin you. Never forget, I effing own you."
Oh my gosh, this is so funny. This is so funny.
Twice, John Doe claims, Hajdini propositioned him for oral sex in the office. On one occasion asking, "Birthday BJ for the brown boy?"
Wow.
It gets better. "My little brown boy," she added. When Doe claims he continued to resist her advances, she allegedly threatened professional retribution. telling him if he wanted to be promoted to executive director, he would need to start pleasing her. You're going to need to earn it, my little Arab boy toy, she allegedly told him during a work social event at her private members club. Why was he at her private members club? One asks. Work social event? You could decline in any event. During the same event, he claims she repeatedly groped his groin under the table, then spat in her hands and ran them all over his neck and his head.
Wow.
Now, if any of this is true.
Now, just when you think the story can't get crazier, it does. Because, and we're going to talk about this here in just a minute, but the pictures of the guy were released. And the memes have been fantastic, okay? Like, you couldn't ask for better memes. I'll show you here in just a minute, okay?
This gal needs to work on her flirtation routine. I'm not sure most guys want you to spit all over their head.
Well, you know,
their neck.
I tend to believe specificity. Like when I hear really specific stuff, it makes me believe it more because it's hard to say. It's hard to manufacture spitting in your hand and rubbing it on someone's neck. You know, it doesn't. It's really super specific. In general. My general take on this kind of stuff is dudes need to just grow a pair and just kind of keep walking. Now, this is getting to the rev limiter of abuse. And maybe it's just the way I grew up. But I have had situations where there were girls that, you know, I worked with or whatever. I knew what they wanted. I understood sort of what they'd say. They'd have a few drinks at the after party and say something. But I was like, I'm a big boy. I can just keep walking. I don't have to say anything. I don't need to report anybody. Now, they weren't my superior. And
that's the difference in this story. Again, I know that a lot of this has been already discussed after the fact, and JP Morgan has dismissed it or whatever. But this does happen. Like, it just does. But it doesn't matter because no one really cares about men, you know, but and men typically don't care either, just saying. So it's really just a matter of, it does happen though. And nobody's really complaining.
And so they weren't retarding my growth in the company. And that is a part of this. You know, if this is just basic peer on peer, we're both in the mailroom.
Now, what's funny is the pictures of the guy were released. And the internet did what the internet does. So first, of course, this is the lady in question. This is the lady that everyone was, you know, discussing right here. And so there you go. But the picture of the guy was released. And there it is, right there. Now, what do you think when you see this? What do you think when you see this? We're all thinking the same thing. And that's what we're thinking right there. He looks like Woody. He looks like Woody from Toy Story. Oh my goodness. Yep. Welcome to the internet. What up, Willie Will? I see you in the chat, brother. Now, there was a particular line in this where reportedly she told him, quote, "I bet your little Asian fish head wife doesn't have these cannons." That's reportedly what she said. So there's that. So, of course, we have right here, he passed up on that because he wanted the fish head wife, because that's It's how the internet rolls. So, of course, the internet decided to meme on that. And so now we get these memes right here. And listen, man, my timeline has been nothing but JP Morgan memes. That's all it's been. It's been absolutely out of hand. And like I said, I was so confused about this because I'm like, why is everyone talking about this woman? Who is she? What's going on? And so the story seems like it has been debunked, but it went so crazy online throughout the day that the internet took over the entire conversation and did whatever they want with it. And it was pretty awesome. We even got memes of President Trump hanging out with her right here. So President Trump has invited her to the White House. And so she's being celebrated across the internet. I'm not even sure she's a real person at this point. I don't even know if she's real. That's what's crazy. Who is she? Does she even exist? Is she AI? But dude, look at that. Like, come on, man. That's a perfect match. Live action Woody right there. She's real to me. That's right. It has been an interesting one, to say the least, to watch the reaction to it, though. But yeah, man. People are like, JP Morgan exec, come here, you naughty boy. Me. On my way, ma'am. On my way. Oh, man. But there you have it. I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but it's been a fun one. And, oh, look at here. The internet has no chill. Oh, no. Oh, no. Internet. Don't do that. Damn you. Oh, boy. You love to see it. Dude, the memes are crazy. 50 Shades of Morgan. JP Morgan cannot be happy about this at all. JP Morgan has to be very unhappy. But hey, welcome to the internet. I'll be your guide. This is what happens on the internet. So as simple as that. Look at this. Do not send Bob's and Vagana. Do not send Bob's and Vagana. I am happily married to Fishhead Woman. Please do not redeem. But there you have it right there. It's been a fun day. Nandy for 50 says, you say 12.1%, but Jessica's married. Lady Erin D is a mom, and Zwanny is as old as Gary. It's more like 0.1%. Damn, Zwanny catching strays. Like, you could have said she's old, but saying she's old as Gary is next level. That takes it to a whole different level. Damn, Nandy. Like, Gary has an autographed copy of the Bible. Nandy said, I'm going ham. Damn. Hail to you, Nandy. And I see Zwanny in the chat. Zwanny's about to fire back. Look at Zwanny. She's a good sport. She's a good sport. Nobody's that old, Zwanny, okay? Nobody is that old. Not even close. All right. Oh, man. Good stuff. Thank you, Nandy. I appreciate it. We got JB username says, Lil Brown Boy fumbles harder than Beardo. Now Beardo catching strays. The man bro dude, there's a snake in my boot tax. Let's freaking go. Thank you. Graham Robinson says, why would she be all over Arabic Adam Sandler? I was wondering what you were trying to say with that. Now I know what you're trying to say. Now I get it. Jeremy, he is forklift certified. Let's freaking go. Thank you. Phil says, good Jer tax. Man, listen, things are getting wild with that whole situation, man. It looks like Camelot got a strike. Who else got a strike that I commented today? I have to go to my everybody's getting strikes. They're talking about the quartering, man. Crazy. Oh yeah, Mikey No More got one. So Mikey No More got a strike as well. What the heck, man? There's a problem on YouTube that has to be addressed. Southeastern Kaiju says, it's still real to me, damn it. Case with the emojis. What up? Thank you. Zenny Biscuit says the Kentucky Oaks will be running at night tomorrow. It's ladies' night under the lights at Church Hill Downs. I like Zany or Explorer. Thank you, Zenny Biscuit. Nandy says quartering must be stopped. Yeah, I know, man. It's out of control right now. Jim P says, your governor, your Gov D mocking Democrats. I don't know what you're referencing right there. 8 o'clock says, silly Megan, that's the plot of Evil Bosses. 2012 Jameson says, listen and believe, get that bag. Eddie says, so where do I submit my resume? So I don't know if it was a meme or not, but apparently like JP Morgan got like thousands of resumes today. People were applying. They're like, please hire me. Please hire me. I want to work for you. I don't know if that was the meme or not, but it was just so funny to see everybody just going crazy over this story, man. It was absolutely awesome. Hey, you know, good marketing, I guess. Probably not for them. They probably don't feel that way, but it's pretty damn funny. It's pretty great. Okay, so here, let me get a few more. Johnny Wiskin says that Ilhan is shocked learning her name starts with 11. Big Wig Cthulhu says, pronounce my screen name correctly, Fig. I did. I always do. Heel Refs says, see, Jeremy, we are not all figs. 11% and growing. Flag Ninja says 11% of the chat, but cause 80% of the simping. Hail to the 11%. Mod Eric says, do you want the article that shows this is false? No, I mean, I said it was debunked. So, but it doesn't matter. The memes are what's real. And that's all that really matters. Memes transcend space and time. As I said earlier today, when I was responding, because our good buddy Cole Hauser tweeted out, he just finished the gym and wanted to watch one of Nolan's greatest movies. And I responded with memes, Tars. Memes are the one thing that can transcend time and space. That is an exact line from the movie. Okay. So yeah, there you have it. Good stuff indeed. Okay, let's see here. Is it Shrike? Did I say that right? My steak is too juicy and my lobster is too buttery. Your Barmy says, Allah Akbar. The Base Wizard says, Jeremy wants to work for that banker. I do too. Graham Robbins says, I believe it. We all know Eric McMinn aren't interested in anything but people of the age of Macaulay Culkin and Home Alone. Dan Campbell says, can we get a happy birthday Night at the Roxbury chest bump clip from Makara instead of a song? Well, I don't know any musicians, so I would never, I've always wanted to be friends with a musician. I don't know any. I've been hoping that one day, because I mean, with all the subs I have and the channels and all of that, you would think I would be friends with a musician at some point. You would think just by default, I would know a musician, but I don't know anybody that can sing. Not even a little bit, I wish, but no time soon. One day you will. Zwanny for 50 says, I've been told I don't look my age, if that counts. Hell yeah, let's freaking go. Now look at the chat. How you doing? Your beauty is timeless. Look at that. Everybody's responding now. See what you've started, Nandy. Zwanny Cougar Club, says Laura. The 1A train says, here is my Hassan would have cheered for Ivan Drago in Rocky Grift Tax. Yes, he would have. He would have. Little Jim Sailor says, at least you're not that guy, the guy who fumbled Winona Ryder. I saw something going on about that. I'm not sure exactly what the story was with that. I have no idea. Most you can have sent a hell yeah kick over on Kick. Thank you. Live on Kick and on Rumble. Ministry of All Things says, I linked to a video from Sam Cedar, Majority Report. People crying about the Dems refusing to release their 2024 autopsy report. Very, very interesting. Why would the Dems not want people to see it? Well, because they love dead people voting. That's what they love. Ministry of All Things, the car video of Nick Fuentes with Asmongold's video yesterday on his Clips channel exposes Fuentes' recency bias. How do you square what he said with him now saying vote Democrat? What the F? The car video of Nick Fuentes with Asmongold's video yesterday on his Clips channel exposes Fuentes' recency bias. I'm not even familiar with that. I'm not sure what's going on. I'll have to look that up. Whatever says, have you seen the memes of Fuentes pushing the woman down outside of his house? I have seen those. That was funny. That was a funny clip. Scully 450 says, hail chat, hope all is well. I was wondering if you plan on bringing back the 199 cap. My sister has one and I really like it. Yes. So I'll be as transparent as I can. We obviously are doing stuff with Ripascend, and that's still going to continue, and we're probably going to launch some stuff here pretty soon. We're doing the meetup at the 9 Line, headquarters next month, almost this month, but here in another hour, it'll be this month. So we're doing the meetup at the 9 Line headquarters. I'm hoping that we're going to do some things with them as well. Now, that will not affect what we're doing with Ripascend. So we'll still have multiple stuff going on, but yeah, I'm looking forward to what we're going to be doing with 9 Line. Potentially, nothing is official. We're just in discussions, but I'm hoping to have a really good meetup. And then, yeah, with Ripascend, that's where we can launch any of these things that you guys are requesting or wanting a return on those. Jessica, if you could screenshot that and send that over to Tommy, because Tommy's the one we got to convince to start rolling that stuff back out. So I will pass that along for sure. I do love the 199 hat as well. That's one of my favorite designs we've had. Thank you, Scully. Appreciate you. John Jones says she probably has toys named Woody and Buzz, if you get my drift. Well, I mean, look, I haven't read the quote unquote debunked story on that, but I do think it does bring up a bigger question. Like, regardless of like how much we want to meme on it and laugh at it and things like that, I am all about consistency. And if we're going to create this workforce where, men can't ever do anything without getting Me Too'd, then the same standard needs to apply to women in powerful positions. And I think that, it's gone to the extreme level when you have someone like Henry Cavill saying that and this is what, I know we had the meme the other day about it, but when you have someone like Henry Cavill who said he's afraid to approach women because of the Me Too movement, I mean, what else do you need to know? Now, he said that back at the height of the Me Too movement, so I don't know what his situation is. I think he's married now. I'm not sure. But yeah, so it is definitely something that should be acknowledged and addressed, and people should talk about, because there is a double standard for sure. And that's the feminism movement, dude. It's created such a double standard in how everything's approached. It's disgusting. John freaking Murdoch for 50 says, I'm not sure what to say, probably is what you meant, about any of this. Rub spit on your neck? I guess that works for some people. I won't bring up my age, but I'm past Gary and Zwanny. Happy Jessica. Look at that. Old people rise up. I'm up there too. I'm getting up there in age, so I'm pretty much a senior citizen at this point in time. Thank you, John freaking Murdoch. Appreciate you as always. Let me see. Jeremy, what do you think of Steve Turley and Mike Malice? I mean, I've watched some of Turley's stuff. Michael Malice, I don't know a lot about him, so I can't speak to him. But I've watched some of Steve Turley's stuff. He makes good content. I don't watch him consistently or anything like that. some of his stuff is very clickbaity, and I'm not hating. That's part of the game. So I'm not saying he's wrong for that, but you know, when I see like, I was getting some of his notifications, and it's just like, okay, yeah, it's a little out there, but I get it. We did have, and I'm just catching up on this, but we did have Pete Hegseth was getting grilled today, and it was pretty intense, to say the least, at moments, right? So let's check this out right here with Pete Hegseth and Pocahontas. Here we go, right here.
Jennifer Griffin. Hello, Jen.
Hi, Sandra. We just saw Secretary Hegseth and General Kane leave the briefing. The briefing has now ended, and we would expect them to be heading over to the White House to join Admiral Cooper for that briefing with the president later today. This is only the second time in over a year that Secretary Hegseth has been on the Hill. The last time he was here was for his confirmation hearing, and it is the first time that the Senate has been able to hear from him in public hearings since the 60 days of war with Iran. There were
Who is she, this Jennifer Griffin? Who is she? Is she like married to somebody? Like, does she have connections? Like, why is she the Pentagon correspondent for Fox News? Who is she? She scares me.
a lot of heated questions, but for the second day in a row, there were more fireworks and name-calling than substance about the war strategy and cost.
The question I would ask to you and to others is, what is the cost of a nuclear-armed Iran? What is the cost to the American people if the world's most dangerous regime has a nuclear weapon?
But the truth is, they don't want war coming to this shore. And when you do a decapitation operation, the likelihood is going to be exchanged in the United States. There's no evidence that we are safer because of this war. We did not have any evidence that Iran intended to imminently attack this country in any way, shape, or form.
It's interesting. I wonder why you didn't have a problem when Kamala Harris had this answer.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands. Okay, this attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
So if you have proof that Iran is building a nuclear weapon, would you take military action?
I'm not going to talk about hypotheticals at this moment.
Wonder why they didn't have a problem with her talking about these things. That's very interesting.
Lawmakers accused the Pentagon of hiding the real cost of the war. So far, the Pentagon comptroller said the operations had cost $25 billion so far. But estimates previously given to lawmakers until now suggested the Pentagon is spending $1 billion a day on the Iran war.
I think you owe it to the American people to give us the straight talk about what the costs have been.
We are 2 months into a historic military success in Iran, and you want to call it a defeat. And it's defeatist Democrats like you that cloud the mind of the American people and would otherwise fully support preventing Iran from having a nuclear weapon.
It got more heated from there.
Hegseth ain't putting up with their bullshit.
Secretary Hegseth denied a Financial Times report that his broker was making trades on his behalf based on insider information.
I'd like to hear you say, did you, through your broker at Morgan Stanley or otherwise, seek to invest in any defense-related funds right before Trump started the Iran war?
I'll give it to you as a big, fat negative.
Then let me ask you a second question. Is your broker getting your personal sign-off on any investment in individual stocks?
Bigger, fatter, negative.
Secretary Hegseth and General Kane were supposed to be talking about the $1.5 trillion budget request that the Pentagon has for fiscal year 2027, but most of the questions failed to address that very large 40% increase in defense budget. Now, Secretary Hegseth and General Kane are heading over to the White House, and they'll meet up with.
Yeah, Hegseth is pretty awesome. Let's see. So is this a longer clip of it? Let's see.
What I give, what you give, what others give, I'm not looking for money. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for profit. I don't do it for stocks. And that's part of the reason why I'm able to be effective in this job, because no one owns me. No one owns this department. No one owns this president, and we can execute for the American people, and we do.
Woo! Hegseth is fired up, and he knew he's going in. Look at her. She's completely unhinged. She's completely unhinged. What a lunatic she is, man. Emotional lunatic. That's all she is. Let's see here.
I haven't talked about it as much in these hearings because this is a budget hearing about $1.5 trillion that's historic and significant. But underwriting the change that we've seen at our department was a laser focus on getting back to basics. And the key word to that is merit. We had a department that was obsessed with gender, ideology, and race, diversity, equity, and inclusion. In fact, the mantra you would hear dripping from the lips of generals and with a serious look on their face was, "Our diversity is our strength," which is the single dumbest phrase in military history.
Yes. That's my boy right there. That's my boy. There we go.
On their face was, "Our diversity is our strength," which is the single dumbest phrase in military history. Of course, our diversity is not our strength. Our unity is our strength, our shared purpose, the flag we wear, and the Constitution we serve to defend. And when you clear that debris away, whether it's Marxist ideologies or social engineering or political correctness or quotas based on gender and diversity, you get the best of the best rising up, regardless of gender, regardless of race, motivated by that environment where merit reigns. It's accountability, standards, lethality, readiness, training, all the debris wiped away. That is the secret sauce of the revival of the War Department, and why Americans are attracted to serving in it, and why those inside it, why morale is sky high. And any insinuation that it is not are coming from folks who haven't been in our units recently. Go visit the troops at every level, and their morale is at record level.
And I want to talk. That is fantastic right there from Pete Hegseth. I mean, I couldn't say it any better. Which one is this one? I don't know if I've seen this. Let's see.
But if I may,
Sure. Yeah.
I didn't get a chance. I didn't see a question in the statement from the congressman. I hope you appreciate how reckless it is. When I said reckless, feckless, and defeatist of congressional Democrats at the beginning, that came after watching you say the same thing on CNN this morning, a quagmire. My generation served in a quagmire in Iraq and Afghanistan, years and years of nebulous missions and utopian nation building that led us to nothing. What we have right now, the way you stain the troops when you tell them 2 months in, Congressman, you should know better. Shame on you. Calling this a quagmire 2 months in. The effort, what they've undertaken, what they've succeeded, the success on the battlefield that could create strategic opportunities, the courage of a president to confront a nuclear Iran, and you call it a quagmire, handing propaganda to our enemies. Shame on you for that statement. And statements like that are reckless to our troops. Don't say I support the troops on one hand, and then a 2-month mission is a quagmire. That's a false equivalation. Who are you cheering for here? Who are you pulling for? Our troops are doing incredible work. They've done incredible things for the entirety of this mission and achieved incredible battlefield successes. And you sit there and go on TV for your clickbait about quagmires. It undermines the mission. Your hatred for President Trump blinds you to the truth of the success of this mission and the historic stakes that the president is addressing, which the American people support. Iran's been at war with us for 47 years. You want to talk about a forever war? For 2 months, this president has stared them down. He's going to get a better deal than anyone ever has and ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. I know the American people support that mission, despite your loose talk and words like quagmire.
That dude is on fire. Holy crap. He is that guy. And remember how much shit they gave President Trump when he brought Pete Hegseth on. Remember how much they gave him. and Hegseth is crushing it. It's absolutely fantastic. Scully for a proper 199 says, I know the rules. Grift from the 11%. May I also request the video where the woman hits the car door and the guy says, damn. I don't know the name of the video, but I laugh every time I see it. You absolutely can. That is a very popular video in these parts right here. Thank you, Scully. I appreciate it. The chat will appreciate it. We'll give you multiple views of the damn video. Here we go.
Damn! Damn!
One more time.
Damn!
And now we celebrate with Sydney Sweeney because, of course, that is one of the funniest videos ever. We have gotten a tad bit more context to that. I really appreciate you guys sending me, the more context to it. But we still don't know. We still don't know what exactly did happen. The video that someone sent me about that. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. Somebody did give me more details on that. He had messaged me the other day too. Seeing if I can find it. Here it is. Yeah. Well, it says failed to load. Well, Rob, if you're watching, the video files that you sent me is gone. So I don't know if you're watching, but if you can send me that video again, but it's failing to load in my inbox on Twitter. So, I don't know if you're watching, but he'll probably watch this at some point. So just resend me that video clip when you can, because I'd like to show everybody. It was a virus anyway. Probably learned my lesson on that one. Thank you, Scully, again. Appreciate you so much. Hail to the 11%, maybe even 12%. Those numbers are going up. So we'll see. So it looks like Gutfeld talked about Hegseth here.
So Pete Hegseth testified for the first time since Operation Epic Fury began, where he dropped even more bombs there, including one on John Garamendi, who just hours earlier called it a quagmire. Secretary Hegseth, have you been lying?
Secretary Hegseth, you have been lying to the American
Hegseth, you can't even say his name.
Public about this war from day one, and so has the president. You have misled the public about why we are at war.
When I said reckless, feckless, and defeatist of congressional Democrats at the beginning, that came after watching you say the same thing on CNN this morning, a quagmire. My generation served in a quagmire in Iraq and Afghanistan, years and years of nebulous missions. And
you cannot, there's no substitute for passion. This dude is passionate. You can see the passion. And this right here, this is what Americans respond to. Authenticity and passion. That's all people are looking for. Authenticity and passion. That's it.
My generation served in a quagmire in Iraq and Afghanistan, years and years of nebulous missions and utopian nation building that led us to nothing. The way you stain the troops when you tell them 2 months in, Congressman, you should know better. Shame on you.
Nice. All right. It's weird, though. Pete really hates the word quagmire. No wonder he got so upset when I told him it was my safe word. But 2 months. In the previous administration, that's how long it took Biden to walk across the Rose Garden. And in that time, do you know what the troops have undertaken, what they've succeeded?
What they've undertaken, what they've succeeded, the success on the battlefield that could create strategic opportunities, the courage of a president to confront a nuclear Iran, and you call it a quagmire, handing propaganda to our enemies? Shame on you for that statement. Don't say I support the troops on one hand, and then a 2-month mission is a quagmire. That's a false equivalation. Who are you cheering for here? And you sit there and go on TV for your clickbait about quagmires. It undermines the mission.
Now, I do appreciate that he was trying to say false equivalency. And then he kind of moved past it. Kind of sounds like Trump a little bit. Kind of sounds like me reading a super chat a little bit. I respect it. He moved past it.
Your hatred for President Trump blinds you to the truth of the success of this mission.
Yeah. So, who are you cheering for, Congressman? We've erased Iran's military leaders and new capabilities quicker than it takes Kamala to polish off a six-pack. We blockaded the Strait of Hormuz, which Trump says is choking Iran like a stuffed pig, which shows that even after all these years, he still thinks of Rosie O'Donnell. But Dems have a filter which turns every success into hatred for Trump. In fact, they're now asking questions that were once off limits when Sloppy Joe was snail trailing his way around the Oval Office. Do you believe that the president is mentally stable enough?
Do you believe that the president is mentally stable enough to be the commander-in-chief?
The fact that this is even a question is so ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you why it's a question. It's not a question because it's legitimate. They are trying to use the same narrative that was used against Biden. The difference is we all watched Biden fall down. We all watched him forget what he was talking about consistently over and over and over and over. So they're trying to rehash that because it was effective. All right. But the reason that it was effective is because it was legit. Oh no, Jeremy's pushing his right-wing BS. Are you accusing me of pushing right-wing BS? Dude, my chat will turn on me if they find out that I'm pushing right-wing bullshit. Oh my gosh. I have been exposed. Next, you're going to tell them I'm a Trump supporter, but no one here knows that I'm a Trump supporter. So please don't tell them that I'm a Trump supporter. Please don't do that. Please. And please don't tell them that I'm a fan of the movie Interstellar. Don't tell them that I'm a Dale Earnhardt fan. Don't tell them that I'm a fan of Nintendo. I cannot have my chat know these things, okay? These are things that will absolutely destroy me. So do not tell them any of these things. Please. So what? He's like, I actually like Interstellar as well. Did we just become best friends? Damn it. How am I supposed to roast you when you're like, I like Interstellar too? Fuck you. Let's continue.
Did you ask the same question of Joe Biden for 4 years?
Mr. Secretary, Biden is not the president.
He's the sharpest, most insightful commander-in-chief we've had in generations. And you want to compare...
The Oval Office. Do you believe that the president is mentally stable enough?
Do you believe that the president is mentally stable enough to be the commander-in-chief?
Did you ask the same question of Joe Biden for 4 years?
Mr. Secretary,
You notice how she didn't want to talk about that.
Do you believe that the president is mentally stable enough to be the commander-in-chief?
Did you ask the same question of Joe Biden for 4 years?
Mr. Secretary, Biden is not the president.
He's the sharpest, most insightful commander-in-chief we've had in generations. And you want to compare, you want to ask that question after you and your fellow Democrats defended Joe Biden, who could barely speak and didn't know what day of the week it was?
As you know,
he governed through an auto pen. When had a Secretary of Defense who went AWOL for a week.
Dude, Hegseth is... I want to see Pete Hegseth debate on the national stage as VP or president one day. Like, this dude is fire.
He's not wrong. Under Biden, our military became the shell of the force that wiped out the Axis powers and knocked out terrorists. And what happened? The backbone of global security lost its spine. The Pentagon promoted pronouns, pride events, and equity over lethal force, combat readiness, and putting fear into our enemies. Troops were lectured on bias, and standards were lowered to meet diversity goals. Thanks to our DEI dogma, our troops couldn't fight any battle that required storming 2 flights of stairs. They wanted to let in recruits who thought the Battle of the Bulge meant they get free Ozempic. The result, the Army missed recruiting goals year after year, the worst recruitment crisis in decades. It got so bad they were selling surplus camouflage to the View in the hopes it made them harder to see. But I wonder if any of that's changed. Pete, is there anyone I should talk to?
Talk to colonels and majors and staff sergeants and 2-star generals, and you ask them about the environment of our military right now and its capabilities right now compared to under the Biden administration, under Obama, they will tell you it is night and day. And because this War Department allows them to get back to basics, no more distractions, no more debris, it's simple accountability, training, standards, lethality, and they respond to it.
Low standards never inspired anyone. Just ask the entire staff of Jesse Waters Primetime. So none of this should come as a surprise to Democrats, because before Pete ever got this job, he told you everything he was going to do. He wrote an entire book about it. In fact, he described his plan on America's premier brain trust for elite military strategy this very show.
Take the vaccine mandate, take genderism, DEI, CRT, whatever it is. There's a new phrase called patriot extremism, which you learn about in the book, that the military is using to try to filter out normal, strong men from the ranks of the military. Meritocracy is dropping, standards are dropping, lethality is dropping, and it's social justice, politically correct nonsense. We've got one military. We either keep it and keep it lethal, or we don't have the ability to defend ourselves.
Yep. But since the old regime taught the Army to hate America, it made sense to them to make sure that they sucked at fighting.
I can tell you this, that I have, and there's people in the chat that if they want to confirm this, because I know they will if they have knowledge of it, but I have very close family members that are or were in the military under the Biden administration, and it was worse than you could imagine. The morale was so bad. You have no idea if you don't know someone directly. You have no understanding of just how bad the morale was. It was historically terrible, and people were not signing up. People did not want to be in the military. They wanted nothing to do with it. And so the people that were in it for the long term, people that wanted to, retire, people had to extend their retirements, things like that, because it was such a disaster. It's awful. And thank God for President Trump, who has completely rebuilt our military. And now we have a military that's actually worth a damn. People that want to be there, people that love America. But yeah, man, it was bad. It was really bad.
But Pete laid out his vision: rid the military of DEI, get back to lethality, bring back real physical combat standards, and stop apologizing for them. No more quotas or lectures about white privilege, just discipline, merit, strength.
Yeah, Jeremy did 2 tours in Call of Duty. Yeah, so if I was to compare my service to the real service, essentially Joe Biden's military was kind of like when I served in Call of Duty Ghosts. It was bad. It was really bad. Okay. We all remember that. In all reality, Ghosts really wasn't that bad. It kind of got worse with other iterations. But if you're from the Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1 and 2 days, that drop off to Ghosts was bad. Drop off to Ghosts was really bad. It's not the worst. All right. But it was bad.
Because the job is to win wars abroad whenever necessary, not culture wars at home. But the real truth, and I say this as one who knows, Pete is the same exact person he was before he took the job, which makes him so terrifying to these bozos. He's an authentic, honest dude who stayed that way in the job, unlike them. No wonder they hate him so much.
Pete is that guy, man. He is awesome. He is awesome. Now, I think this is a very interesting, thing that we should learn. And we've talked about this before. But the bottom line is, and I've talked about this, bring back profiling. Bring back profiling. Okay? Because right here is proof of it right here. A canine appeared to be suspicious of the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting suspect, Cole Allen, but was pulled away just seconds before Allen charged through security. The dog was seen following Allen through a doorway, but was pulled back by its handler. The dog knows. Make profiling great again. Immediately after the handler turned away the dog, Allen was seen charging through security. What a massive failure on every level. Here we go right here. Dog going after him. And that dog's like going after him. Like, you know, deers know. God dang it. Yeah, like, I'm not sure why he pulled him away. That's very strange that he pulled him away. Like, that's the point of the canine, to be there. Dog is clearly concerned. And there he goes. There he goes. Holy shit. Wow. Holy crap. I haven't even seen that. This dude. Are you kidding me? As soon as that is insane. Holy shit. Yeah, I know I got to be careful because the damn AI bots. You know what? We're running it, okay? We're live on Rumble right now. But this is security footage of a major incident where the president of the United States was under attack. There's nothing glorifying anything here. We are showing security footage. That is crazy. All right, we're going to stop it there. Well, I'll wait. Why did they stop? Oh, they're showing it again? Yeah, there it is. That is insane, man. What a breakdown in security. So this guy walks in there. The dog follows him. The handler pulls the dog back. The dog is going in there for a fucking reason. The dog knows something. And for you to pull this guy, I need to find out who this guy is. That is terrible. That is absolutely terrible. And then as soon as the dog comes out, the dog's still looking, turns around, guy bursts through and takes off running. Absolutely insane. That is crazy. Like I said, it's a major security, failure for sure. But dog MVP as always. Ryan G. Doyle for 20 says Jeremy's a Trump fan. Damn, I gotta go, guys. See, man, I knew we were gonna lose. I'm gonna lose everything now. I'm gonna lose everything. Damn it. It's over for me. It's over for me, boys. Graham Roberts says, who doesn't love a little Dommy mom me kind of action every now and again? Res Scott says, looks like his parents are cousins. Taker says, dude married a reverse mermaid. Channel Surf says, why are we listening to Megan Maddow Media? Laura says, old biatches tax. Southeastern Kaiju says, Gary called what by his street name? I don't even know what that is. Let's see. Midnight Light says, what is Sloth World and why is it in Orlando news? What is that now? I don't know what you're asking me. I don't know what it's reference to. Scully says, have you seen the video of the spoof of 007 with Trump as 47? Song is called Never Die. I haven't seen that one. I can look that one up though. I can look that one up, Scully. If he doesn't have any weapons, because that's what's getting everybody hit right now. These AI videos and even real news clips are getting people hit. It's very stressful right now to be on the YouTube platform, which is why we're live on Rumble and Kick. So if for some reason you don't see this stream for a day or two, you're like, what happened to CobraCast? It's because something happened. So anyway, check it out. Make sure you follow us on all other platforms because you never know what's going to happen. But it's good to make sure you follow us on other platforms to make sure everything is okay. So Just Nova says, get off the cart. Wait, gotta get off my chest. Fuck me. How did I get off the cart? Got to get off my chest. That's a weird way to start a fucking super chat. Got to get off my chest. The proper way is they got to get something off my chest. All right, now. The rest of this is not much better. I eat crayons and now crow. I am now convinced the security was a failure, and I agree 100 agree with your opinion. Hail Jeremy, Nostradamus, and the 199. Fuck. It's not that bad, but it's a little confusing. You started off with the lower. Is this like a trendy thing of showing like or starting out your sentence with lowercase? Is this like a younger person thing where everybody does everything in low caps or some shit like that? But anyway, I appreciate it. That is a security failure, 100%. Yes, it is. Not you, just know. I'm not saying you. Geriatric Jeremy. Lowercase maxing. Otto does it. Jeremy went to Beardo's Quality Leering Center. Can you guys not be mean to me? It is 11:30 EST. Streaming is a very, very hard job. I kind of want to blame Just Nova for this. Read a fucking book. You see what you started here, Just Nova? Got to get off my chest. So confusing just by me reading that. So what did I say? Where did I bring cart? The word cart was not in here. What did I say, cart? Thank you, Just Nova. I appreciate it. Why did I say cart? I don't know where. I just invented a fucking word into the super chat. Why would I do that? I don't know. Nandy for 50 says, your reading is Beardo level. Difference is he's younger and a better gamer. Fuck that. He's not a better gamer. The Chad USA says, on my way to Destin, Florida right now. That's awesome. Destin, Florida is beautiful. I don't know if you're going down there for vacation or whatever, but Destin is absolutely gorgeous. So you should have a lot of fun. Matt Frog says, wasn't that part of the plot of Horrible Bosses? A lot of people have been bringing that up. Let me see. Jim P says, referring to state map redesign. Okay, got you. Lying Dogface Pony Soldier with the Get That membership. Thank you. Jay Landmaster says, I'm a music director and I think we're friends. Look at there. There we go. When I say that, though, it's really an inside joke to Dan Bask. Dan Bask has tried to take over my channel. January 6th. He's trying to January 6th my channel. I think I'm going to let Dan. We need to do this, okay? Every January 6th, we need to just let Dan host a stream and call it January 6th. Entitle it January 6th 199. And let Dan just host a stream as he's taken over. It's an insurrection of my channel where Dan just hosts it. And that's it. And everybody's like, where's Jeremy? He's like, I have insurrected him. I've taken him over. It's over. That would be pretty good. I think we can do that. Gunny says, my oldest son is Gary's age. Damn, I'm so old. I poot dust. Damn, that's pretty old. Dansurrection. Yeah, Dansurrection. Lying Dog Face Pony Soldier with a Get the membership. Thank you. Bumblebee says, BS tax. Carrie Malone says, crap. I thought this was a left-wing BS chat. John freaking Murdoch for 50 10 gifted memberships for $50. Said it backwards. I was trying to get more out of you. 10 gifted memberships from John freaking Murdoch. Dansurgency. Jean-Claude Van Dask. Holy crap. And Dan's asleep right now. So I'm going to have to text Dan and tell him to watch this back. I'll text him later. I do kind of want to wake him up, but I'm not. I'll let him know you got to watch this section back because there's a lot of ideas for you, Dan. There's going to be a lot of nicknames that people are going to be giving you. Thank you, John freaking Murdoch. Nullface says, Dear Dog Almighty. Thank you. Nullface says, no vascurbation allowed. Vascurbation allowed. Good Lord. You guys, now it's like I can already not read simple shit. Don't make it more complicated. Laura says, I think us ladies are going to need the 11% merch. Uh-oh. I like that. Big Wig Cthulhu says, you did this time. Good, Jer. Well done. Vault 199 says, Jeremy can grift my $2 for 28 minutes easy. Damn right. Big Wig Cthulhu says, did you see Rachel Wilson versus Brian Shapiro debate? No. Rachel Wilson. Is that Andrew Wilson's wife? I think, right? Ministry of Wrong Thing says literally demanding we tell Iran our strategies. Yes. Jameson says that there was also a video of truck running over a Lambo. Cornboy says BS tax. Little Jim Salo says right-wing tax. You want the hoodie I'm wearing? Well, this was through Ripasend. I'm sure we can make this available again. It really just like, we just don't want to relaunch stuff to sell 10 hoodies or something. Like we need to move at least 75 or 100 if we're going to relaunch a whole campaign. You know what I mean? Because, there's cost involved in everything that we do through whether it's Ripasend or whoever. So we don't want to launch a campaign to sell 10 or 15 hoodies. Now, when we did the relaunch for the last one, we did move a couple of hundred hoodies. So it obviously made it worth it. So as long as we can move 75 or 100, I don't have a problem relaunching stuff. So, Marc-Andre Roy says, you didn't tell me this was a right-wing channel. Fran Forsyth says, wait, you're not a libtard tax? Mr. Bentham says that you're a Trump fan. I feel betrayed. Schrodinger's chat says forklift certification tax. Narco says, Miss Jacobs looks like the fish ad wife. Mr. Bentham says that you were forklift certified, so I forgive you. Mr. Blue Sky says, surprise, Jeremy likes Trump and his gay tax. Nero Moda says, how to become best friends with Jeremy. Quote, I too also liked Interstellar tax. I mean, listen, it just shows you the level of IQ of someone. That's all. Okay. High IQ people like Interstellar. But it truly is it's a dad movie. That's really what, that's the connection. It's a dad movie. So, Slain Hope says that mentally unstable, self-hating Jeremy supporter tax. BMCCB says, can confirm. Miss Femme Natal says, there's a ton of vets in the chat. We are so grateful for your service to our beautiful country. God bless you. Hey, that's nice. And I agree with that completely. Thank you to all the veterans in the chat. And that's why I'm looking forward to working with 9line potentially, because they are huge supporters of the military, of veterans, of police officers, of first responders, as am I. I always wear my Blue Lives Matter band right there. And why is it flipped around? And of course, my Trump banner. So I always wear that because I am a huge supporter of first responders, police officers, military, all of that. Graham Robbins says, anyone who's seen Terminator knows that deer can smell the imposters. We need more deer patrols at these events. Daniel says, Ghost Clan system was peak. They should bring back. They should BRNG back. Random commentator dude says, notice them already taking down metal detector. Yeah, man, it's a disaster. This entire situation was a disaster. I know Trump tried to play it up nice, but it was a failure across the board. All right. Wait. Long last name says, I can't send Jeremy a message about selling him the USS Flag. It's his fault at this point. Is it a complete USS flag? Okay, so I mean, the problem is like I really do want to buy one, but and there's complete ones out there, but I just can't. I don't have $2,000 to be dropping on a flag right now or whatever they cost. So, is it complete, and how much are you selling it for? And you can. I mean, you can just email me, or whatever, if you're not on Twitter or anything like that. But yeah, so I'm interested, but I'm not interested in spending a ton of money. So if it's not like a really good deal, and I'm not trying to get a good deal out of you, if you have a flag, you should hold on to it. I'm not looking to buy one to sell one. I'm looking to buy one to keep one and display it and have it. I've never owned the USS flag ever. USS flags typically run $20K. They're not $20K. The last one I saw was like $2,000 or $3,000, but it wasn't complete. They're not 20,000. Like, that's crazy. Unless it's like a perfect one with the box and everything. But like, let me look up USS flag. I think a really good condition one is going to be $5,000. Really good. So let's see. Let's go to Google Shop, or let's just do eBay. We'll do eBay. Okay, so here's one for 1,000, but it's in pieces. Here's 1,500, mostly complete. I mean, here's one that's 5,000. It looks like it has the box. Here's a $30,000 USS flag. $30,000 unopened and graded. Are you fucking kidding me? Unopened and graded. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Dude. That's insane. That's insane. That's crazy. That'll never happen. But yeah, like the regular flag, I mean, for a couple grand, that's about the going price for one that's in decent decent condition. But I have money going into too many places right now with G&G. Maybe one day when I can retire, maybe I can afford that shit, but not right now. Oh shit. Okay. Well, it's 29,879 with a coupon. That's nice. Okay. But so the USS flag and the Terrordrome are the two things that I've always wanted to own, but never owned as a G.I. Joe fan. But yeah, man, hit me up. I'd love to see what you have, at least, if anything. So, where are we at here? Narco says that dear security tax, and yes, morale in the military was awful under Biden, much improved now, and we are going great. We are going great work, probably doing great work over in Iran. Schrodinger's chat says, and God created the dog, and God saw that the dog was good, and God said, who's a good dog? And the dog said, yes, it was. Mr. Benham says, of my chest now crow eat I crayon. What do you want me to do with this? What do you want me to do with this? Like, what am I supposed to do? Slain Hope says you missed the female cops in that clip who went full horror movie mode and tripped over their own feet trying to run away from the bad guy. I was watching that clip a little, kind of like making sure nothing was going to trigger the AI. So I'm going to rewatch that clip after the fact. Draken says, what would you do for a Klondike bar if it was Trump branded? I mean, I'd be more interested in a G.I. Joe branded one. I mean, I don't really collect Trump stuff. I know, like, the meme is I'm a huge fan of President Trump, but I don't really collect Trump stuff. I'd rather collect G.I. Joe stuff. Graham Robbins says, Mrs. Robbins says she'll totally buy 11% merch. All right, there we go. Look at our boy Danky in the chat, and Danky's been crushing it on D-Day Cobra 2, man. He's been crushing it over there. So if you guys have not subscribed, he's been doing good work getting these clips out. So I've been loving it. And that channel's doing very, very well. So hail to Danky. Mr. Blue Sky says, I like Interstellar too, Jeremy. Now I need to come to a meetup so we can be Tar's friends tax. Let's freaking go. There was like another, the Interstellar theory videos are like always popping up. There was one that breaks it down really good. Let me see if I can find it. It was about Dr. Mann. Let's see. Yeah. No, that's this one right here. Man, that guy's got 300,000 views in 2 days off this fucking video. But it's this one right here. Interstellar's villain was a prophet, and the poem proves it. He was right. This channel Poggy, I don't know who he is, but what a freaking awesome video. Spoilers for Interstellar, so if you haven't seen it, I wouldn't recommend watching the video, but if you've seen Interstellar, you should watch this video. Really fucking good. There's so many of these theory videos popping up about this fucking movie on my timeline. Litton says, I was at the bar and a lady told me she would shoot Trump in the head, but said she was a kind, compassionate person. I said I would accept nothing less from a Harris voter, and she asked, how did I know who she voted for? That's a hell of a story right there. Jeez. That's a hell of a story right there. Not surprising at all. Thank you, Litton, for the $20. Big Wig Cthulhu says Rachel Wilson versus Brian Shapiro is incredible. He's an insane leftist and she's a housewife and mop the floor with him. Yeah, am I right? Is that Andrew Wilson's wife? The Prestige is better. I mean, I can't argue that the Prestige objectively is probably better than Interstellar just as a movie. But I think that Interstellar opens up so many more questions, and it's so much more of an important movie of the scale and the things that it's dealing with. But if you're just judging it as a movie, I think Interstellar has a couple of issues that really throw people off. Specifically, there's a moment, everybody that's seen the movie knows it. There's a moment in the third act with Cooper, and that is kind of, it's not very well done in terms of explaining to the audience what is happening. And that's what throws a lot of people off. Now and again, this is not justifying it all because it is a flaw in the movie, but I've read The Science of Interstellar from Kip Thorne. So I know what happens in that scene, but it's not very well done from Nolan's perspective. Nolan does not do a good job in that scene by articulating to the audience what is happening with Cooper. And then also there's a final scene with the Cooper and, someone else. And I think the editing is just a little sloppy. So, I mean, there's flaws in the movie. Whereas The Prestige is pretty much a perfect movie. Prestige is like fucking great. Like, I don't know if there's any real flaws in The Prestige. It's a fantastic movie. But Interstellar to me is a far bigger and grandiose movie that opens up so many discussions and opens up so many theories and answers questions. And there's theories on top of theories on top of theories about the meaning of it and what it means for this and the universe and what we can become as species and how time operates and, what a fifth dimension being is and all of the things that comes with it. So, Taker says, what happened to the live background? What are you talking about? For me? Well, I mean, it's the way I would have to capture it. I can give you the live background, but I'll also be back in the original 199 studio this coming week. So there you have it. Does Jeremy ever stop talking about Interstellar? Nope. Green says, Jeremy, I sent you a video on Twitter. It's a video that's sure to trigger you, but it's all in good fun. Hail the 199 and happy Jessica. I will check it out. BMCCB says, how do you feel about Interstellar versus Prestige? Well, I'm glad you asked because I haven't had a chance to bring this up. But I really do want to talk about Interstellar versus the Prestige. Oh, man. But yeah, they're both. Nolan is the top filmmaker in Hollywood right now but the Odyssey is got a lot of red flags around it, man. And it's going to be an interesting discussion. And I think that people being concerned about the Odyssey is legit. I think people have valid concerns. The casting is a disaster. At least some of the lower level casting is. I don't really have a problem with Matt Damon as Odysseus. I don't have a problem with Anne Hathaway in anything. Okay, I will pay money to look at Anne Hathaway for 3 hours, all day, every day. Not going to complain. I don't really mind Tom Holland in the movie as his son. And those are the three major roles, really. And then obviously John Bernthal's in it. That's not a problem. Zendaya's in it. I don't really hate Zendaya. But then it gets to some weird shit, man. There's some weird shit. Yeah, it's some weird casting in this movie after that. Green Sage says, the Dems that complain about Iran would 100% be for us to go to war with Russia over Ukraine. Yes, they would. Little Jim's Halo says, I know, so count super chat, no count Dan Vask shell. Okay. What you said? Let's see. Anne Hathaway praised Allah the other day. You need to go back and listen to what I said. I said I will pay to look at Anne Hathaway. I didn't say I would pay to listen to Anne Hathaway. I'm not interested in a damn thing she has to say. Okay. I am not interested in a single word that she has to say. I will pay to look, and that's all. Andrew says, if you had to choose to save, hang on. If you had to choose save for the flag or a good condition, cheaper Defiant, I would have to take the flag, even over the Defiant. The USS flag symbolizes so much from my childhood, so I would still take the USS flag. Yeah, I would. But it's the Terrordrome first. Terrordrome is even over the flag. Let me see. Big Wig Cthulhu says it bird my go for the what? It bird my go for with apple bat. What? Teresa, what does this mean? Dyslexic tax? Is that what that means? Mr. Bentham says apple. You know what? You guys are fucking pissing me off, okay? You guys are pissing me off. 8 o'clock for 10 says, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy. But after learning so much about MJ and his family, isn't it kind of odd that they are the ones who seem to be controlling his story and benefiting off of it? Just saying. Well, I mean, who would you want to control Michael Jackson's estate at this point? Michael Jackson's no longer with us. He died in 2009. So who would you want to, like, yes, I want Michael Jackson's family to control his estate, like, at this point in time. So yes, that's exactly what I would want. So I don't know how I would want, like, we all have known what happened with his dad, but his dad doesn't control that anymore. So yes, it's absolutely best that his family controls it. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect, but if I'm not mistaken, Neverland Ranch doesn't belong to the family anymore. I believe Neverland Ranch belongs to some billionaire investor, and it's not even open. It's kind of sad that Neverland Ranch was such an iconic place, and now it's just completely shut down. And I guess is it gone, Mr. Blue Sky? Like, I know that, like, some investor owns it and he's doing nothing with it. At least that's the last I heard. But yeah, for better or for worse, a man creates a legacy, and once that man is no longer here, you would hope that you lay a foundation that your family will do the right things with your legacy. Doesn't mean that's always how it's going to work out, but I would rather my family be involved with the decisions of my legacy than a greedy corporation. And I think that Walt Disney is a classic example of this, because Walt Disney created probably the greatest entertainment brand in history. We're never going to see anything like the Disney brand again. And yet his family is largely not involved. Well, they're not involved at all anymore. And you have a greedy corporation that has completely destroyed everything that he stood for. Now, to be fair, and I don't know the ins and outs of this, but like when Michael Eisner was involved, when he was running the Walt Disney Company, Disney was having its struggles. But I mean, Michael Eisner saved Disney back during the Disney decade. During the 90s, Michael Eisner literally saved the Walt Disney Company. Now, I believe that Roy Disney, he was the son of Walt's brother, I think, was still involved with the board at that point in time. But now we're so far removed from the Disney family having any involvement in the Disney company. It's very, very sad. Kind of goes back to when I brought up Dale Earnhardt. And, when he passed away, Dale Earnhardt's legacy should have been carried on with Dale Earnhardt Jr. But instead, his Teresa Earnhardt, who was Dale's widow, turned out to be a pretty terrible person. And none of us knew that when she was alive, or when Dale was alive and she was by his side. None of us knew that. We all thought Teresa was just amazing. And it turned out that she kept Dale Jr. from taking over the legacy of his father, which is such a disaster. But with that said, going back to the Michael thing, yes, I would rather the family, for better or for worse, be in control of the Michael Jackson estate other than a greedy corporation or billionaire investors. Absolutely. Mr. Bentham says, yeah, I don't know what the hell you're saying there. Big Cthulhu says, what the fuck is this shit? Do this to Beardo on Main Event. That's not what CobraCast is for. Bastards. I am scared for the Odyssey tax. I'm a little worried about the Odyssey. I am a little worried about it. We'll see. Badfish says, I saved my allowance and got the Terradrome. My friend's rich parents bought him the flag. Who's your pick for GA governor? Also, your Fig 199. I haven't been following the Georgia stuff too much, so I'm not caught up on that. But do you still have the Terradrome is my more important question. Do you still own the Terradrome? This is the most important thing in your statement for me. So, I got to know now. Garfield's Bizarre Adventures is Danky put out another banger. Dude's animations are hilarious. Also, Zendaya is a terrible Athena. Well, we'll see. I mean, we haven't seen the movie yet. Again, I know that very much on the internet, Zendaya there's a lot of people that hate Zendaya for whatever reason, and that's totally fine. I'm not a fan of Zendaya, but I also don't hate her. I'm kind of whatever. So I don't really, I'm fine with her, like being, I don't hate her in the Spider-Man movies. I didn't hate her in the Dune movies. We'll see how she is in the Odyssey, but I don't have anything against Zendaya. BMCCB says, that's not what CobraCast is for. Tax. Let me see here. Site Team says, anything can't do right since because super chat. That's wonderful. Wonderful. 80 Victorium says, how weekend was it? Oranges? Why? Teresa says, oh, come on, Jeremy. You know we love you. Miniature Run thinks says, Cal just needs a street. California just named a street after Charlie Kirk. I heard about that. Well, whatever says, if you like Anne Hathaway, then watch Love and Drugs on mute, obviously. I've seen the scenes from that. Let's see. Who's worse, Zendaya or Pedro Pascal? In my opinion, Pedro Pascal is significantly worse. Dan Vicious says, gotta play this for the boys. I can't through the link that I'm looking at super chats. I can't actually click that link. I'm sorry, Dan, but people in the chat over there in Rumble can click it. Minister of Valentine says Trump needs to turn Hakeem Jeffries crying DI gone, affirmative action gone into a campaign ad. That would be fantastic. He should absolutely do that. Minister of Valentine says yesterday Matt Morris talked about this in his live stream, how Comey is not being charged for silly little seashells. Allegedly, Comey literally had a book published that explicitly taught the reader how to use the First Amendment to call for assassinations, and the seashells was part of the advertising gimmick for the book. If this is legit, holy. That is crazy. I haven't heard that, but I didn't get a chance to watch anything from Matt's in the last couple of days. So I will check into that. That's freaking wild. Mr. Blue Sky says, I wish I could give more to tell you to watch Euphoria for science. Just saying. You know, I through Amazon or whatever. I guess I have HBO Max. I don't know how it works. But I saw Euphoria was available, and I was kind of like, for research purposes, right? But I didn't. Beef Nasty says, hold up. There's a new Star Wars movie just joined at the chat. Saw on Twitter from Geeks and Gamers. Yeah, unfortunately there is. I responded to it right here. So The Mandalorian and Grogu tracking for the lowest Star Wars box office opening ever. Quote, for Star Wars, a franchise that once dominated the global box office, that's a stunning shift. That is not a stunning shift in any way, shape, or form if you've been paying attention to this garbage franchise. And I responded and I said, you get what you fucking deserve. So there you have it right there. So if you want more information, we do have an article over on geeksandgamers.com to tell you all about it. But yeah, so nobody cares about Star Wars. Nobody. It's dead. It's over. Mitchell Field says that Michael Jackson died. She's spoilers. Haven't seen the movie yet. You should watch it, though. You should watch it. It's great. Can we get another Rocket League stream? Maybe. So May is going to be a very busy month for me. And we're officially in May, at least on Eastern. So May is going to be a very busy month for me. So I will be streaming. So, but I'm also traveling. I've got a lot of traveling this month. I will have my, laptop with me and everything like that. But just keep that in mind that I will be doing a lot of traveling. Jeremy the Cyborg says Neverland Ranch, known as Sycamore Valley Ranch, is a private estate owned by Ron Burkle. The rides and zoo were removed. The train track was repaired, and the property is a private residence. That is so sad. That is so sad. Do we have any billionaires in the chat that would like to buy Neverland Ranch and we can reopen it? Any billionaires in the chat? Any billionaires watching? Hit me up if you're a billionaire. We could, I got a couple of ideas. We could buy Neverland Ranch and we can reopen it. And I, of course, I know members of the Jackson family. Okay. And we can reopen it and we can honor the greatness of the King of Pop. All right. The Michael Jackson South Park episode is still hilarious. Oh my God. It's amazingly hilarious. I love that episode. As a huge fan of Michael Jackson, I love that episode. Nico for $100 says the Resident Evil trailer looks like a random horror movie, but it doesn't look like Resident Evil. And I heard no characters from the game will be in it. Not good. Also, I'm fatigued on Zendaya. Time for them to cast an accurate MJ to the comics. Red head, pale skin. I don't disagree with the casting of MJ for sure. I don't disagree with that. But yeah, I don't have anything against her, but I get it. She's everywhere. So I'm not a fan, but I'm also not a hater of hers. I'm just whatever. I'll be honest about how I feel about her in the Odyssey. And, but my bigger concern is not Zendaya. My bigger concern is Black Helen of Troy, potentially, reportedly, which is not confirmed yet, but that seems like what's going to happen. Ellen Page in The Odyssey is a disaster. Travis Scott in The Odyssey is a disaster. What is Nolan thinking, man? What is he thinking? I don't know, man. The only thing, so like Helen of Troy is not in The Odyssey much, right? If I recall, Helen of Troy is not in The Odyssey that much. So I'm wondering if Helen of Troy is only going to be a voice. You know, like a brief moment where it's a voice. And so if in fact it's a voice, you know, that's the only way I think it can be justifiable. That's it. So we'll see. Coopster says, super missed my message times a couple. Lipstick looks red. Good your lips. I'm reading all this shit very slowly because I don't want you guys to make me say something like,
all right, Smelly Negro, I love that name. Which hockey movie chant, I swallow knickers come? No idea.
Don't want you guys to be tripping me up on something like that, okay? There's a couple of rules on the internet, and I kind of broke one of those rules, all right? I kind of broke one of those rules earlier this week. Don't click links. Kind of did that. Got my Twitter hacked. Okay, the other rule is don't read super chats fast if you don't know what words mean. Okay, so just saying, be careful. Be very, very careful. The Skeleton King says, I like how you keep all the retards on Wednesday show. John the Wiskin says, do you like the 2002 Resident Evil movie? I don't like, I haven't seen all the Resident Evil movies, but I saw the first couple. I didn't like any of them. As a Resident Evil fan, I didn't like any of them. So I've never liked any of them. None of them have done anything for me. Never click a link. This is the dark web by definition. Yeah, I heard that. Jim P says, so you are going to the secret meeting in May. Israel related, right? Oops, I should not have said that. Hail the 199 and the snake pit. Fear the Deerdo. Holy fuck, man. I am retarded. Am I retarded? Fucking hell. Am I retarded? Fucking hell. You guys are exhausting, but I appreciate it. And I also appreciate that we are less than 40 followers from hitting 2,000 on Kick. All right? Less than 40 followers from hitting 2,000 on Kick. If you are considering following on Kick, now's a good time to do it. Maybe we can hit 2,000. That would be awesome. Tom Holland Spider-Man is woke. I mean, I don't love Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, but I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Skeleton King says, aren't you that Jeremy guy that's taking down channels? Fuck. Please don't confuse me with that guy. Yikes. Man, what the hell is happening right now? It's just a wild time right now on the internet. That's all I can say. Beef Nancy says, we are so fucking retarded. 8 o'clock says that kind of odd how Hollywood called out Neverland Ranch a safe, or called out Neverland Ranch a safe place for child actors while Epstein and Dan Schneider were around. I think Jack Posobiec said it best the other day that everybody in Hollywood called Michael a PDF file because he was the only one that wasn't. I think that was just fantastic, man. That was a perfect tweet from him. For all of my problems with Posobiec, his Michael Jackson takes are incredibly on point. Right here, Michael Jackson was the only one Hollywood called a pedo because he was the only one that wasn't. Freaking great. Like, that is so on point from Posobiec, man. That made me so happy to see him say that, because it's so accurate. Because the thing is this is why they do it. They did it to Michael Jackson. They're doing it to Donald Trump, because they symbolize everything that Hollywood hates. And that is one of the main reasons that they hate both of them. It's not a coincidence that Michael Jackson, if you were not alive back then, Michael Jackson, what they are doing to Donald Trump is exactly what they did to MJ and vice versa. It's crazy, man. And I know there's people that are just tuning in that haven't seen it. So I'm going to show you one more time the clip that's kind of been going around, because it's important. It's important to hear this. It's self-projecting. Yes, they love to project. But the difference is, and I think that the difference is I think Michael Jackson was done even worse than Donald Trump. And I say this like, we're not judging it just like, we're judging it on Donald Trump is built for this. Donald Trump is built to be attacked. He is a machine. He is a warrior. He's a fighter. So he can take it. It's kind of like the end of the Dark Knight. That line from Gordon, when he's talking about it, it's because he can take it. Because he's not a hero. That's Trump. Like, why is Trump taking all these attacks? Because he can take it. That's not Michael Jackson, dude. Michael Jackson was a sweet guy who cared deeply for people and had a very innocent mind and view of the world, because his childhood was taken from him. And right here you go.
When Michael Jackson was falsely accused by countless people, Donald Trump stood up and said this.
I'm going to stick up for him because nobody else is, but I don't believe it.
Trump angrily criticized the mother who accused Michael of child molestation.
And she goes after him viciously and violently. And I saw a story and I read another story about some of the things she's done, and I don't believe it.
While many were waiting for the superstar to be imprisoned, Trump firmly believed that the truth would prevail.
I had no idea he'd be that strong defensive of him. And good for Donald,
It's tough. It's tough to win, but I have a feeling he's going to win, Larry.
Many people avoided talking about the wrongful case from years before, but Trump unexpectedly brought it up again.
The kids were very young. Michael would come, play with the kids. He just loved children. He was not a child molester, and I am certain of that. He'd play with my son Eric and my son Donald, and he'd just play with them forever. He loved children, but he was not a child molester. And
even Trump's eldest son, when he grew up, mentioned Michael Jackson.
Jackson used to come up and he was our neighbor at Trump Tower, right? So I was playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Michael Jackson.
It's not appropriate for us to say who was behind the smear campaign against Michael, but Trump gave him the best support.
Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson. So
Michael was a great friend of ours, actually. And he lived in Trump Tower for a long period of time.
And yeah, man. And this is MJ right here.
It's written about me. I wasn't aware that the world thought I was so weird and bizarre. But when you grow up, as I did, in front of 100 million people since the age of 5, you're automatically different. The last few weeks, I have been cleansing myself, and it's been a rebirth for myself. It's like a cleansing spirit. I love you too. My childhood was completely taken away from me. There was no Christmas. There was no birthdays. It was not a normal childhood. No normal pleasures of childhood. Those were exchanged for hard work, struggle, and pain, and eventual material and professional success. But as an awful price, I cannot recreate that part of my life, nor would I change any part of my life. However, today, when I create my music, I feel like an instrument of nature. I wonder what delight nature must feel when we open our hearts and express our God-given talents. The sound of approval rolls across the universe, and the whole world abounds in magic. Wonder fills our hearts for what we have glimpsed for an instant, the playfulness of life. And that's why I love children and learn so much from being around them. I realize that many of our world's problems today, from the inner city crime to large-scale wars and terrorism and our overcrowded prisons, are a result of the fact that children have had their childhood stolen from them. The magic, the wonder, the mystery, and the innocence of a child's heart are the seeds of creativity that will heal the world. I really believe that.
Somebody says, do you think MJ would have turned on Trump if Trump ran as a Republican? No. And I have a video to show you why. Because Michael Jackson was sick and tired of the bullshit too. He's not built like Trump, but he was getting tired of it. And right here, Michael Jackson called out executives, high, big time executives right here. He was tired of the bullshit too.
And Tommy Mottola is a devil. I'm not supposed to say what I'm going to say right now, but I have to let you in on a secret.
Say it.
So, please don't videotape what I'm going to say, okay? Because the companies take advantage of them. They really do. And Sony, being being the artist that I am, at Sony, I've generated several $1 billion for Sony, several billion, and they really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer myself would outthink them.
See that? MJ was a lot smarter than they gave him credit for, because they viewed him as and again, very sweet, very innocent mind, but a very savvy businessman, okay? Very savvy businessman. And as he started to see this world for what it was, he was sick and tired of it. He was tired of the corruption, and they destroyed him for it. He was not as strong as President Trump. Sadly, he was not as strong as President Trump.
Yeah.
Think them.
Yeah.
So we can't let them get away with what they're trying to do, because now I'm a free agent. I just owe Sony one more album. It's just a box set, really. It's with 2 new songs, which I've written ages ago. Because every album that I record, I write, like, literally, I'm telling you the truth, I write at least 120 songs every album I do. So I can do the box set, just give them any 2 songs. So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony. So I own half of Sony's, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it. But I just did good business, you know.
Tell him, Michael. Tell the story.
But so the way they get revenge is to try and destroy my album. But I've always said, you know, good art never dies. Thank you. I love Unbreakable. You know, turn that off, please. No, what? I don't mind. Tape it.
But I love this side of Michael right here, man. I love it. Because, like, this is him. If you go back and if you listen to Donald Trump when he was younger, Donald Trump was very, not soft-spoken like Michael, but a completely different mentality from Donald Trump, okay? Completely different. And yet, the Donald Trump we know today, completely different. So, but this is Michael showing you that, like, he's pissed. He's tired of it.
Michael is getting gangster. starts in 10! Yeah.
Mariah Carey, after divorcing Tony, came to me crying. Crying. She was crying so badly I had to hold her. And she said to me that this is an evil man.
Tommy Mottola.
And Michael, this man follows me, she said. He taps her phones. And he's very, very evil, and she doesn't trust him. And he is a horrible human being. And we have to continue our drive until he's terminated.
There you go!
We can't allow him to do this to great artistry. We just can't. I just want you to know I appreciate everything you've done. You've been amazing. You're so loyal, Diana. Everybody, Waldo, all the people here, I love you all. You've been amazing.
Thank you!
I love you.
Yes, Tommy Mottola was married to Mariah Carey. So yeah, there you go. And I saw Dragon Dan says, what was it like, kind of witnessing this in real time? I mean, obviously back then, I have to be as honest as I can about how it went, but like the media controlled everything back then. And so we were kind of trained to not question the media. We were trained to not question anything. And I think Michael Jackson was the first real wake-up call for a lot of people, at least my age. A lot of people looked at this about like, hold on, Michael Jackson is doing things to kids? What the hell? What? At that point in time, it didn't add up. It's like, wait a minute. What are you talking about? This is Michael Jackson. And this to me was the first major moment for people to realize that the media has been lying to us. They've been lying to us for a long time. And Michael was kind of that moment. And there's a lot of people that bought into it. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that bought into the lie of Michael Jackson. And it ultimately did destroy him. It completely did destroy him. If you've ever seen the part where Michael actually has talked about what they did to him, you can hear the pain in his voice. Let me see if I can find it. Right here. Yeah. So this was his statement. He was not built, like I said, I keep bringing Trump up, but like Michael was not built for this. You could tell it really did hurt him.
For your love and support. I am doing well and I am strong. As you may already know, after my tour ended, I remain out of the country undergoing treatment for a dependency on pain medication. This medication was initially prescribed to see the excruciating pain that I was suffering after recent reconstructive surgery on my scalp. There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false. As I have maintained from the very beginning, I am hoping for a speedy end to this horrifying experience to which I have been subjected. I shall not in this statement respond to all of the false allegations being made against me, since my lawyers have advised me that this is not the proper forum in which to do that. I will say that I am particularly upset by the handling of this mass matter by the incredible, terrible mass media. At every opportunity, the media has dissected and manipulated these allegations to reach their own conclusions. I ask all of you to wait and hear the truth before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent. I have been forced to submit to a dehumanizing and humiliating examination by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff Department and the Los Angeles Police Department earlier this week. They served a search warrant on me, which allowed them to view and photograph my body, including my penis, my buttocks, my lower torso, thighs, and any other area that they wanted. They were supposedly looking for any discoloration, spotting, blotches, or other evidence of a skin color disorder called vitiligo, which I have previously spoken about. The warrant also directed me to cooperate in any examination of my body by their physician to determine the condition of my skin, including whether I have vitiligo or any other skin disorder. The warrant further stated that I had no right to refuse the examination or photographs, and if I failed to cooperate with them, they would introduce that refusal at any trial as an indication of my guilt. It was the most humiliating ordeal of my life, one that no person should ever have to suffer. And even after experiencing the indignity of this search, the parties involved were still not satisfied and wanted to take even more pictures. It was a nightmare, a horrifying nightmare. But if this is what I have...
Bro, you really don't know? Are you trolling with asking that question? How did Kamala do this? Like, are you serious? Like, how many times do I have to play the clip? People like Jeremy plays the clip all the time. People still don't even know.
To endure, to prove my innocence, my complete innocence. So be it. Throughout my life, I have only tried to help thousands upon thousands of children to live happy lives. It brings tears to my eyes when I see any child who suffers. I am not guilty of these allegations, but if I am guilty of anything, it is of giving all that I have to give to help children all over the world. It is of loving children of all ages and races. It is of gaining sheer joy from seeing children with their innocent and smiling faces. It is of enjoying through them the childhood that I missed myself. If I am guilty of anything, it is of believing what God said about children. Suffer little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of heaven. In no way do I think that I am God, but I do try to be God-like in my heart. I am totally innocent of any wrongdoing, and I know these terrible allegations will all be proven false. Again, to my friends and fans, thank you very much for all of your support. Together, we will see this through to the very end. I love you very much, and may God bless you all. I love you. Goodbye.
So, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Janet Jackson publicly denounced Kamala Harris for the 2024 campaign. Why? Because of this.
No wonder Janet Jackson dared to publicly criticize Kamala Harris. It turns out they've had a grudge for 20 years. During the campaign, Janet openly criticized Harris, claiming she wasn't truly black. Janet's attitude toward Harris sparked a lot of discontent, but at the time, no one knew that Janet's resentment toward Harris had actually lasted for 20 years. Janet was Michael Jackson's most beloved sister, and she reflects many of Michael's traits. However, Michael's passing had a tremendous impact on her, causing her to struggle with the grief for a long time. Few people know that Harris was the prosecutor who slandered Michael 20 years ago.
Boom, boom, boom.
Back then, she used the phrase, "Children don't lie," to ruin Michael's career, ultimately leading to his untimely passing under intense pressure. Janet held on to her hatred for Harris because of this, and 20 years later, when Harris became a presidential candidate, she angrily criticized Harris in an interview. She could never forgive the person she believes indirectly caused her brother's death. 20 years later, Donald Trump successfully defeated Harris, avenging his friend, and Janet finally felt some justice for her brother. No matter what, may Michael rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Michael Jackson. Yeah. So there you have it.
Few people.
There you have it. It's all Michael Jackson is kind of the key to all of this. And so answering the question of like, how was this back then? It was a wake-up call for a lot of people, especially when we had to witness moments like this right here, when we had to see how much this destroyed Michael. It destroyed him.
Count 1 verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of conspiracy as charged in count 1 of the indictment, dated June 13th, 2005, foreperson number 80. Count 2 verdict. We, the jury in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of a lewd act upon a minor child as charged in count 2 of the indictment, dated June 13th, 2005, foreperson number 80. Count 3 verdict. We, the jury in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of a lewd act upon a minor child as charged in count 3 of the indictment, dated June 13th, 2005, foreperson number 80. Count 4 verdict. We, the jury in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of lewd act upon a minor child as charged in count 4 of the indictment, dated June 10th, 2005, foreperson number 80. Count 5 verdict. We, the jury in the above entitled case.
So obviously not guilty. Now, what's interesting is that was in 2005. 4 years later, this guy right here, Dr. Conrad Murray, 4 years later, after Michael Jackson proven to be innocent once again, this guy.
I am saying that Michael Jackson died, unfortunately, from an accident based upon his actions.
Hand on heart, you don't believe that, do
what?
you? You made that up. That's just not true.
That's not the case.
Look, if you are his friend, you would not tell that story.
I was not present when Michael Jackson took matters in his own hand. Michael Jackson, as you have realized now, is a drug addict.
I've got to be honest and say a court didn't believe you. Jurors didn't believe you. The judge said this was medical madness, that this was a homicide case, not even malpractice. Michael Jackson died because you killed him.
I did not kill Michael Jackson. I met Michael Jackson in his state, lifeless or not.
There you have it. So, the world failed Michael Jackson. That is just the truth. And I will always, stand by and stand up for Michael Jackson's innocence. And, but it's just a sad, sad reality of where we are. But I'm glad that the Michael Jackson movie is dominating and it has reopened the conversation. And more people in a Donald Trump-led United States are now finally seeing the truth for what it is. And, that's really good to see. And I'm happy to see that. It's sad that, he had to go through everything, but his memory is completely intact. And, there was another one too, that I'd shown you plenty of times, but I think just for the conversation, that it's important to put this in just so everybody does, get more context to this. If I can find it, there was one, right here. It's this one right here. Here we go.
That could mean life in prison. And cases like this can depend on the testimony of the child accuser.
In general, the child will be able to recall and recollect with some detail the incident, and that is persuasive to a jury, even if it is the only testimony that is available.
Jackson gave a wave when he was released after booking. He's scheduled for arraignment in January.
Michael's been a long-time resident of Trump Tower, and last night the Donald strongly reiterated his defense of Jackson with Larry King by going after the accuser's mother.
She's had plenty of experience at going after people, and she goes after them viciously and violently. And I saw a story and I read another story about some of the things she's done, and I don't believe it.
But you know what it's like when an indictment comes down.
It's tough.
It's presumption.
It's tough. It's tough to win, but I have a feeling he's going to win, Larry. The interesting thing is I've known Michael from many different standpoints, and Michael would spend a lot of time with my kids. I have beautiful kids, and at the time, like at Mar-a-Lago, and even in Trump Tower, the kids were very young. Michael would come, play with the kids. He just loved children. He was not a child molester, and I am certain of that. He loved children. He'd play with my...
You have to understand, back then, this was something nobody was on that level, willing to put everything behind. For Donald Trump at the height of the anti-Michael Jackson movement, for Donald Trump to say, I'm certain he's not a child molester. That is insane for Trump to say that. But that just shows you how much he believed it and how obvious it was. And he was the only fucking guy of that level that was doing it. He's the only one.
Son Eric and my son Donald, and he just played with them forever. He loved children, but he was not a child molester. And, you know, that whole final saga of Neverland and the police and what they did was, I think, a very, very bad part of Michael's life.
So there you have it. So anyway, really happy that the Michael movie is doing good, and God bless Michael Jackson. And yeah, he, you know, he was a Christian. He believed in God. He believed in Jesus. And that's obviously not something that he didn't put it out there a lot. It wasn't like he wore it on his sleeve or anything like that, but he was a believer. And, you know, did Michael Jackson have problems? Of course he did. He had a lot of problems. And yes, he was a drug addict. And a lot of that is kind of alluded to in the movie when he had the accident on the Pepsi commercial. I'm going to be honest, and they did a good job of recreating that in the movie. But if you actually watch the real video of what happened to Michael Jackson, it's actually scarier to watch the real video. The real video of Michael getting his hair burnt is actually scarier than what they did in the movie. And that was the beginning of Michael Jackson having to rely on painkillers, and which led him to, you know, down the unfortunate path that he was on. But he definitely was, you know, he definitely had a problem with that. And, you know, he in the movie, however accurate it is or isn't, but in the movie, you know, he's like, I don't want it. I don't want painkillers. The doctor's like, you're going to need them. Like, you don't have really a choice here. Your nerves are exposed on your head. You're going to have to. And so it is what it is. But I'm happy that the world is seeing Michael Jackson in a positive light once again. Okay, let's see here. We've got Mr. Blue Sky says, Teflon Don Tax, also hail Michael. Coopster says, my united the world and political powers that tried to destroy him to keep us divided and still trying it. It's true. John Jones says, damn, was always a fan of MJ's music, but I didn't know he was based. Looking forward to seeing the movie this weekend. It is so good. Jim P says, Michael Jackson was murdered by them. John Jones says, Michael Jackson was the first major celebrity death that I remember. I was 11 and I was shocked. Mr. Blue Sky says, forget Forbidden Frontier Theory. Michael isn't dead. Hail the king. Taker says, Harris was worse than we ever knew. Twisted Clown says, Neverland Ranch Sanctuary for Kids on Epstein. Sherry Allen says, did you see Candace is getting sued by Charlie's security? I didn't see that. The Glory of Rome is Forever says, I started detesting the media the day that Barbara Walters did a hit piece on Michael to make him look like a clueless idiot. The shopping trip scene was so out of context. And on top of that, to your point, okay? Oprah was Michael Jackson's biggest supporter back in the day, just as Oprah was Donald Trump's biggest supporter back in the day. And guess what? Oprah turned on Michael, and later on, Oprah turned on Trump. It's incredible how it's all connected. It's absolute. We live in a simulation. Holy crap, dude. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's so wild that when you go down this rabbit hole, it really is a wild, wild rabbit hole. But let me see here. Well, whatever says, I created an account on Kick just to follow you, Fig. Hope you're happy. I am. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let me refresh and see how many followers we're at on Kick. We are 21 away from 2,000. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it over there. I believe Kick, like with the gifted memberships and the kicks, I believe we get is it still a 95% cut on Kick, which is the best cut on any platform? Do they, before we confirm that, I need to know, but it used to be a 95% kick cut. Yes, it's still a 95% cut on Kick. That is fucking crazy. So it's 70 on YouTube, it's 80 on Rumble, and it's 95 on Kick. That's wild. But thank you guys for watching over there and for Rumble as well. Johnny Witzkin says, the only thing I heard let me correct this. We get 100% of Rumble Wallet. So 100% of Rumble Wallet, 80% of Rumble Rants. So, but 100% of Rumble Wallet. Johnny Witzkin says, the only thing I heard what made Michael died was the overdose of that liquid to help him sleep in his final tour. The doctor didn't want to give him any more, but Michael insisted. Was that a lie? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know the specifics of it. I mean, you have to imagine Michael Jackson being the most famous human being in the world, and being a celebrity of that magnitude, clearly. But, the doctor was found guilty. I think he served like 3 years, maybe. So he was found guilty. And so, he definitely, there was some malpractice there for sure. Mitchell Field says, I understand what you're saying about Michael Jackson, but how is Israel involved? They control everything, right? If you really want to go down that rabbit hole, there's some anti-Israel people that will love to have that discussion with you, because trust me, there's a ton of theories surrounding Michael Jackson and that topic. Trust me. All right. You can look it up on your own, but that's a rabbit hole. So yeah, that's a rabbit hole. MJ was Mossad. Quite the opposite. Let's just say quite the opposite. Let me see. According to the theories, Mr. Blue Sky says, F YouTube tax. I will kick you tomorrow, or kick you now. You deserve more. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Taker says, putting a clip of Trump doing the Trump dance during what should be a very serious segment was so out of place, but at the same time, so hilarious. It's the most Trump thing ever. Yeah, so you'll have to look up that Michael Jackson lore. I know maybe I do play really dumb on some of the Israel stuff because the anti-Israel crowd annoys me, but I'm very aware of the lore behind Michael Jackson and Israel and Jews and all of that. So you'll have to look that up on your own time. We're not going to be discussing that here on this channel. But with that said, we're going to call it a night, guys. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a good, I didn't know YouTube. Well, I don't have a problem with YouTube taking their cut. I've always said this, like, I don't listen. We can talk about Rumble. We can talk about Kick. YouTube has the best platform in terms of the things, the tools that it gives us, and every opportunity it has, the analytics, the back end, all of that. It's unmatched. And I'm telling you this as a creator that's on every platform. YouTube system is the best, and it's not even remotely close. Okay. So they give us the biggest and the best platform from that perspective. So it is what it is. Now, let's see. Oh, look at there. Gary says the Michael Jackson lore is real. Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun. There you have it. There you have it. We're going to end on that comment right there. No, but seriously, yeah, I have no problem. I want you guys to support me on whatever platform works best for you. But I want to give you options, especially with all the craziness going on. I've never had a problem with YouTube's cut, and I still don't. I appreciate you guys wherever you're supporting. So Kick, Rumble, YouTube, wherever. Thank you so much. And Gary's comment will end the night for us right there. So you guys have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow at some point. I know I'm probably going to do an early stream, and then I got F&T And then I've got something to do after FNT. So if I do a stream tomorrow, it'll probably be another late stream. So anyway, thank you guys. Have a good evening. Michael Jackson forever. And we will talk to you later. Bye, everyone.